What's up, ambitious immigrants? Today I'd like to talk to you about the 5 types of people you need to remain successful. Very early in my career, I used to really be alone. In many ways, everything that I was doing was because I used my own judgment. And my judgment was limited because my experience was really not very significant. As a result, it was hard for me to succeed. It took me a while to understand the value of really having strong and important relationships. I would say years later, I became a little more humble. I used to be very, it wasn't confident, that was arrogance, where I thought that, I was smart enough to do things on my own. After, initial failures, very big failures, where I almost wanted to even go back home to the Congo because America turned out to be harder than I thought. I met people who knew things that were, I want to explain more the types of people you need in your life, but basically these were people who gave me advice and helped me become, the person I am today. You need 5 types of people to keep progressing, keep getting better. Now, my name is Mutabs, and on this channel I cover many topics, some having to do with personal development and others having to do with personal finance. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on anything. The first type of people that you need are advisors. So you need an advisor. In many ways, I prefer to have one great advisor, not too many. An advisor is somebody, hopefully, who is also more like a friend, somebody you spend a lot of time with. You can hang out with them. An advisor is somebody who knows you, who knows your past and knows your dreams and your future. So the advisor is somebody who gives you, clarity in your decisions. In what way? So every time when I have to make big decisions, whether it's about an investment, whether it's about it could be anything, right? It could be your personal relationships, anything. And I usually try to consult my advisor. And the moment when I do that is when I don't have clarity in what I need to do. When sometimes you're gonna find yourself in situations where you have ambiguity, right? A and B seem like good solutions or seem like bad solutions. So at times like that, I try to consult my advisor. So you want somebody who has a very good track record, right? So you want success rate and track record. And by success rate, when it comes to advice they're giving you, and the track record when it comes to themselves. The last thing you want is an advisor who's giving you advice on something they're not good at. You don't want to, if you see somebody who's giving you relationship advice and they're single, stay away. If you see somebody who's giving you money advice and they're broke, stay away. If you see somebody who's giving you, advice about how to improve your credit score, but they don't have a great credit score, stay away. So the idea here is that you want somebody who has a good track record when it comes to themselves. In the past, I've made a lot of mistakes where I would get a bad advice, and because I did not know any better, I was getting bad results, but I would go back for more advice and more bad results, and then finding myself really out of options. Lots of people, fail in their lives because of that. So you really want to make sure you always make sure, right? So you evaluate people. You want people who have good tastes and good judgment. Somebody who really has a good track record. And the other thing you also need is you need somebody who's good at keeping a secret. The last thing you want is somebody that you confide to who does not keep it to themselves. The second type of people you need are teammates. So you need a teammate, somebody that you trust, who has your back, somebody that you respect, who respects you, somebody you can count on. A teammate helps you because on your own sometimes it gets boring. Whether you're practicing, you're playing, a game, you're learning a new programming language, you're trying to become good at something, it can be boring. When you see people such as Bill Gates, they had a teammate, somebody who was there with them, and you don't even just need one. And teammates are not like friends that you go to the bar with. Teammates are people, it's really strictly professional. Somebody who's out that you can count on, and who also helps you, step up your game a little bit. And ideally, you want to have a teammate that you look up to who's a little better than you, so that they can help you get better, stay better, and improve your skills. You need to have a teammate who helps you, stay motivated, especially the motivation part. You need that, and what you end up getting as a result, you're gonna copy a lot of positive behaviors because we are social animals, and as you spend more time with somebody, you're gonna become more like them. The third type of people you need are rivals, right? So rivals are people who will keep you honest. I know they say a friend believes in your potential, but a rival will make you live up to it. So rivals are people you need. Most of the time we see them as something negative, haters and whatnot. But a rival is a friend who's really in disguise in many ways, right? Sometimes God will send you enemies, opponents, rivals to help you learn something new or help take you in a different direction. Sometimes help you fail so you can learn something that you're gonna need tomorrow. Early in my career, I failed a lot because I was dealing with very, very powerful rivals. But I learned so much from those rivals that later in my career, I became, somebody who could get, who could succeed at things that seemed almost impossible. Because I've actually been in situations where it's almost like if you've been in a fight with Mike Tyson, whoever fights you next better be lucky or good, right? So the idea here is that rivals will help you step up your game. Sometimes you never knew that you needed to learn something, right? But then because you failed miserably, you realize that this rival taught me something. And then so rivals are different than teammates in the sense that this is somebody who's not somebody you trust, somebody who wants to take you down. A teammate has your back, but a rival wants to stab you in the back, right? And what they do is they help you become more disciplined. And most of the time, I'm very grateful for the rivals that God has sent in my life. And at times it's been difficult, but through the challenges, because I never gave up. And the main thing I want to say about this is that an advice that I was given by one of my mentors was a very important advice is that when you meet those challenges, I remember early in my career, I had this big challenge. I was just like, man, they're giving me a hard time. I can't handle this. I can't take this anymore. It's stressing me out. I think I just need to leave this job. And then my mentor told me, if you run away right now, you're gonna run for the rest of your life. It took me a while to understand what it meant, but what it means is that if right now you're afraid of that rival, if you don't want to take on this fight, you're going to do this for the rest of your life. So if anything, you want to take on that challenge, learn from it. You may win, you may not, but learn from it, embrace it, and see it as an opportunity to learn. It's almost like, when you want to win a championship, you need to be grateful that you have a team that's going to help you be at your best. Bruce Lee would not become Bruce Lee if he did not meet people who wanted to take him down so bad that when he went to the gym, he felt like, I need to practice more. Muhammad Ali felt the need to practice even more because he knew the challenges were hard. And when you say I'm the greatest, somebody will come take you down, and you'll train better and more because you have a rival who's going to keep you honest and help you live up to your potential. The fourth type of people are mentors, and a mentor will help you basically evaluate you, will basically see your mistakes with so much clarity because they see you as a newbie. So if they're your mentor, you're pretty much an apprentice to them. So those folks, they'll help you big time. Without mentors, I will not be where I am today. I will not have been even half of who I am today. And mentors don't always have to be people with older than you, 20 years older. Sometimes it's just people who are very street smart. Like I am street smart, but I've met people who are like street genius. I reached a time in my life when, I almost got tired of America because I did not understand how things worked in this country. And as a result, sometimes I was very tempted to go back home, right? To go back to the Congo where I'm from. But then I met a peer mentor, and, who was not even a male, right? So it wasn't a friend like a male. Somebody who was around my age and somebody who helped me, really understand the way people think, with such, a street genius who could just, basically one thing about them was that the success rate of their advice was 100%. And sometimes they didn't seem like, things that would make sense, but when you did those, you would just see the results, right? It's almost like, just imagine if, like Steve Jobs or Warren Buffett or, Bill Gates gives you an advice. These folks, they're just so far ahead that when they give you an advice or a suggestion, man, when you implement that, you just see things just transforming, right? It's almost like Michael Jordan telling you, if you want to shoot better, do this. That they're so far ahead that when they give you an advice, you need to really take that to heart and really sometimes, spend a month meditating on that, reading about it. I've had mentors explaining to me things that I did not quite understand until I read maybe 3 or 4 books on the subject, but they guided me in that area. They guided me to better understand something I needed to work on. And so mentors are key. You cannot, like I say, become successful by reading books alone, by having great friends alone. You need to have mentors who guide you. And so as I'm speaking about these things, like I said, write down who is your mentor, right? Who is your mentor? And make sure that you really maintain this relationship and stay in touch at least once a month with your mentors. The 5th type of people you need is a spiritual counselor. And early in my career, I was really making, the main mistake of not relying too much on the spiritual world. And as a result, I was never lucky, right? So I felt like there were limitations. So the way I look at it is that, the spiritual world will help you to have lucky breaks. In what sense? Miracles, right? Small scale miracles. And what I have today is a team of prophets, people who, basically foresee things tomorrow, who help me. So basically, a way I have a relationship with God through other people, right? And I also have people who pray for me. And this is very powerful, especially as you become more and more successful. Without this, you're not gonna be very well protected spiritually. And if you're not, this will start affecting you in the physical world. I know these things, people who are in power, really high up there, they tend to understand this. And you even see kings in the past, they used to have a team of wise people. You'll see everybody, kings in the past, Pharaoh and all of those in the past, they used to always want to consult prophets and people who can foresee the future, who could heal. Even today, I know people don't talk about it, but there are people who are, who are really almost like messengers of God, and people, who can help you get closer to God, who can pray for you, pray with you. And today, I'm really blessed to have, people who help me when it comes to this. And I really advise that you have the same thing, right? So you need to have a spiritual counselor. When you try everything on your own, you feel like you're hitting your limits. I've had times when I have tears on my face because on my own, I can't. But then when you turn to God, you get results. And the best way to also operate with God is not just to have a personal relationship with God, but you also need somebody who's going to help elevate your spiritual game. And a spiritual counselor is somebody who can help you achieve those goals. To wrap things up, like I said, you need 5 types of people. You need an advisor, a teammate, a rival, a mentor, and a spiritual counselor. These are the 5 people you need on your team. And the best way to build that team is to be somebody who gives back. Like the way I operate, I am an advisor to many people. I give a lot of people advice. There are people, usually when they run into challenges, they come to me, right? And I take that seriously. So I take a lot of time thinking before giving them my 2 cents, my suggestions. And then I'm also a mentor of many folks. And I also enjoy being the rival, right? So you are my rival, I am your rival. Typically, that's the way it works. So I see that as an opportunity, as an honor sometimes to be given, to compete, right? So whatever game it is, it could be as simple as a basketball game, or it could be a corporate game, or it could be, a business game. The way I look at it, it's all a game, and I enjoy the competition because it helps everybody get better. So I take that positively instead of taking it negatively. And at the same time, I'm also somebody who tries, I'm a mentor of many folks, whether it's through my YouTube channel or personal relationships that I have. I try to share as much as I can, and I try to basically things that I've been able to achieve. I try to figure out what I've learned and share those insights. And and then I'm also a spiritual counselor in many ways, because there are things where sometimes in the physical world, the world of scientific reasoning, have limitations, and you need to go a level above the spiritual world. And and I also give other people spiritual advice and spiritual blessings, because like I said, in this world, if you only operate on one realm, you're operating from a limited, you're gonna limit your own potentials, because you also have a spiritual potential. Now, make sure you also give back for this to work. Most of the time, the folks who help me this way, I don't pay them anything, but I try to really make sure that I give back to other folks, or even to themselves, because every time I teach somebody something, I learn something myself. So thank you so much for watching this video. And right now, we're aiming to get to 100 subscribers. So if you can, please make sure you ask a friend. Right now we're close to 100, very close, and would like to really get to 100 subscribers. Please make sure you ask a friend to just subscribe. Add more folks, ask a friend to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for your time, and see you next time.